Welcome. Made it, man. I'm sorry for the delay tonight. I was trying to upload videos. I'm having trouble. I'm having internet difficulties, and I've been working hard. So my show was supposed to be yesterday, but no dice, man. I've been working long hours, and it's hard work. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this Wednesdays and Saturdays bit. I think my next day off is going to be next Sunday. So that's what we're shooting for now. We're on my schedule. I'm sorry. This is out of my pocket, not paying the bills. But everyone showed up tonight, which is cool. We'll keep coming back if you guys do. I'm still trying. I want some of these videos up because they're good topics, and I spent the day fucking editing them, and now I can't get them to load. I hope this is coming through loud and clear. Can you hear me in the comments?
How do you get to a point in life where
you
can
the
do
words
this?
coming out of my mouth?
Is that a pony or a full-size horse?
Still up,
what a great jacket! I don't know. How do you get to this point? How long did he train to be able to do this? You know, this is a handy skill because society could collapse at any moment, and suddenly these people are going to be very important again.
Do something. At least we agree on some things. Anyways, we're working on the flag right now, and I put a video up. I'm trying to upload that to this whole no flag in the courtroom. Selgovae's back. We're going to talk about that some more. Tim Burns was at the meeting with us. We're going to bring him in right away. And it's just going to be like a fucking free-for-all in here. Okay, Destiny says hi. Am I coming in loud and clear, Destiny? My internet's not very good today. Could use some feedback. So what I'm going to do today, I don't know if Kirk's coming. I told Kirk he's welcome anytime. You know, he's part of the team. And if he wants to jump in, I'm going to throw him an invite every episode. And he can sneak in, sneak out. He can be like the plant in the back room, you know, the fly on the wall. But I want to show this video because I fucking climbed Taylor Hill today. And it was an awesome video going up the hill because I was going to do a story time. And because someone requested more story times, I was going to do a story time. And then play the video of me going up Taylor fucking Hill because it's epic. But right now, my video is taking forever to upload. I went to see a lady at the Bell store, and she barely spoke any English. She hit a few buttons and reset my network, and still fucked. I think fucking, I don't know if I'm hacked or what. It's like when I leave the border. It's like when I leave Saskatchewan, my area. I don't know if I'm out of someone else's jurisdiction. Some Albertan fucking spook has to deal with my shit now. I don't know. Anyways, without further ado, man from the east with a big mouth, and we love him because somebody has to say it. Somebody has to say this shit. Like, everyone's got a job, you know, to do, and you know, the guys who get in early get the good jobs, and this is fucking Mr. Burns, Tim Burns' job right here.
I want you guys to fucking get out there today. I want you guys to fucking literally stand up for the future. The children, your future, because you got to remember, you might not even have children, but guess what? The children are your future, regardless of if they're yours or not. Literally, if the children aren't fucking prospering in the future, if they're not fucking working just like we are, if they're lazy, if they're not contributing, there goes your pensions, guys. Because if you're not putting in continuously and it keeps on going with the cycle, doesn't matter how much you paid in. If they start fucking losing the money, where does it come from?
My compliment on the hat. Sweet hat, Mr. Burns.
That I felt like what's her name? Camilla Harris there repeating over and over again.
Nice to meet you, Tim.
Yeah.
You too, bud. You too.
Yeah. Looking forward to the work and mischief we're going to get up to.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Fuckery's fun.
How'd you like my new intro?
It is
I'm
good.
trying to get away from the copyright. Okay? I thought maybe the jazz version. You won't take it away.
Let's do a recorder version of 3 by Mice.
I'll fucking yank that too. At the beginning, it's 548 megahertz, and if you're 53, 538, 534, and if you got problems with that frequency, go fuck yourself. Nobody owns a frequency, you know. So fuck, whatever. Getting crazy, man.
So you're out in the East Coast there. You're in New Brunswick, Tim. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm in New Brunswick.
Which part? Like, are you able
southern,
to say?
Southern New Brunswick, St. John.
Yeah.
Well, outside St. John, Hampton.
And they got a new political party that started up out there.
The Liberal Party, or the Libertarian Party, yeah.
No, something I just saw today at CPAC, the Future Party, the Canadian Future Party.
Maybe they changed their name, but there's one that just got in. It's called the Libertarian Party of Canada. I don't know much about it. I was asked to join a couple meetings. I joined a couple meetings. I like where they're going.
Isn't it interesting that the word that they, which is a true word, libertarian, is
right.
a real, and it is nothing like what's up in Ottawa right now. And
right.
Unfortunately, these people got to carry that fucking truth while they're speaking it. It's called Semitic drift. They do it to us on everything.
Yeah.
They get us asking for
That's what I was asking you the other day, Selgovae. I was like, what's that fucking word that you were using? Semitic drift. Thank you.
Yeah.
Write that down.
The if the Libertarian Party stands, if they stand for what the Libertarian Party stands for, I'm all for it. It's what we want. The freedom to speak and be heard, and then our government listens to us instead of they're more or less a party that listens and a party that does whatever the hell their agenda is, I guess, is how I looked. Well, I did a little bit of research about the Libertarian Party. It's not new. It's been around for quite some time. Just there hasn't been a established party, I guess.
We've always had what it is that you've stated that you crave, and I do as well. We've always had it. We've been led from it, and aggressively since World War One. I mean, there was seeds that were planted before that, but like every family feeling it in a direct and personal way was since before World War One, just before.
Yep.
Okay, you know how this works, Tim Burns? Now you're in the fucking snake pit, buddy. When you get in here, we play videos. As soon as the video's done, you chime in if you got something to say. If not, then you just fucking like Homer back into the bushes and you keep your mouth shut. You can do some facial gestures if you want. But first one after the video speaks can have it, and you can cut a guy off. You could make fun of his mom if you want. Anything goes in here. All right, here we go. First video.
If you live on planet Earth, this is going to be a very important video for you to understand. This is the volatility index. This gauges how risky the economy is and how much of a potential there is for collapse. It's up 122% in the last day and a half. It's above levels we haven't seen since COVID. Right here, this is 2020 when we found out COVID was happening and the economy was going to be just completely shut down. Now it just spiked to 52. This is a massive indicator. This tells the world that we are on the brink of a collapse and the global economies are crashing right now. Japan's stock market's down 12%. Europe's is down massively. The futures market for the United States is down massively. And if we go even further with this is the chart going back about 20 years. If you look, this was COVID. This is where we are today. This was the 2008 financial collapse. This was the housing market crash, that one that everybody talks about how horrible, the worst ever. It wasn't even that which was COVID and was right now. That tells you the brink of what's about to happen. Do you remember COVID? This is right up there above the COVID, but below the financial collapse of 2008. This was the tech bubble. This indicated all of these major things. So buckle up. It's about to get a little wild here in the United States and across the globe.
Oh, fuck this.
Where'd he go?
I don't know, but that's what happens sometimes.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
while we're waiting for him, remember the 2008 financial crisis to 2011?
Yeah.
And gold went to, everybody lost their shit because gold went to $1,800. And silver went to 47. And that ratio, note that ratio, 47 silver, 1,800 gold. Today, market's just opened up. Gold 3,400 Canadian. Silver almost $41. That's a 100-to-1 ratio.
Mm-hmm.
So if there was a go back to gold-based currency or a gold-backed system, if that happened here now, I mean, just on that ratio, you're looking like silver has a potential of $1,500 an ounce.
You're 100% right. Park your shit in fucking bullion if you can. The best advice you can have right now. I agree.
Okay, so that brings me back to another interesting point because, like in '98, when I went to the former Yugoslavia on tour, it was the fog of the conflict. So the restructuring was just beginning. People were just starting to put roofs back on their houses. A lot of corruption, a lot of dodgy material, like as it would be but I was taking note of the people that were like, I was saying to myself, fuck me, man. I want to observe how these people are like scratching in the dirt because I want to know how to scratch in the dirt like them. The fat ones, I want to know what they fucking do.
Right.
So I started to see a trend, and all these people that were doing well had stockpiled their base metals. And I'm not just talking gold and silver. I'm talking copper, brass, aluminum, any non-ferrous metal, even shred. They were hoarding their metals. And then and fuel was a huge one too, and cigarettes. Cigarettes as a currency was huge. But basically anybody that got rid of their fiat cash, their dinars and their kunas, that was the currencies of the time, Croatia and Bosnia Central, and converted it into base metals. They did not too bad. And that war was all about the installation of the euro and the euro. That's all it was. Same as World War I. Exact same fucking place, too. Sarajevo. Ironic, huh?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah. So if people out there get their hands on you, start filling a 5-gallon pail with every piece of brass. Don't take it for granted. You twist
I agree. If you know history,
hang on to it.
The guys who had piles of iron did not too bad during the wars.
Well, the above ground silver that they use for just our tech market is mass. A Tomahawk missile has 500 ounces in it, as an example, an extreme one. Your microwave, the push pad, that's silver mylar. Your keyboard, silver mylar.
Not only that, but like skills are valuable. Like you can get gold and silver stolen off of your person or your property, but if you have if welding is a highly valued skill, especially during a war, skills like that, or butchering, stuff like that. If you're valuable to a group of people, that's just as good as having gold and silver in your pocket.
One of my fortes, like when I was in the Army, and I worked in reconnaissance for a bit out in Calgary and one PPCLI, and like we had this thing in the unit where every individual kind of like take it upon themselves to learn an interesting skill. One guy might learn how to pick padlocks. Another guy might just, learn how to just something interesting. And so one of the things that I dabbled in was edibles, like foraging and wild medicines and stuff. I found that neat. And so today, in today's time, when COVID hit, I saw it coming and I started a parallel chat. I was a radical in a political forum, and in another forum, I just shared yard medicinal weeds. And I was running these two entities parallel to one another at the same time. And it was kind of funny to watch that be weighed out by the public that was reading it. But end of the day, those skills, it's just crazy how many people don't know. I had a woman that lives around the corner from me. She in the lockdowns had a tooth infection and she couldn't sleep. She had a headache for like days on end, and she's got a ditch in her front yard full of bulrushes. I was like, well, Go out in those bulrushes, pull them out, pull the leaves back, get that gel at the bottom, rub it on your fucking gums. You're going to get 2 hours of it's going to freeze your face for 2 hours. You're going to feel okay. And she messages me back. She's like, oh my God, I wish I knew this. Yeah. So like, it's a local freezing agent and it's there all the time, readily available.
Yeah, that's one of the best words of advice is to make yourself valuable in one way or another. There's something out there for you to do if times get tough, especially in that way. The more skill that you have, the better off you're going to be, the more valuable you are as an asset to a group or friends or family or anybody. Because who knows what's
us too. They program us into trades and then they control us with the currency. And we follow that stick and carrot than we do any empathy towards our neighbors. But that's a shift that's starting to happen, especially in the freedom community. And even in the left community and their own cells too, they're evolving in a parallel way for survival. It's a natural thing. It's, you know, their ego's gonna defend their logic before they give it up. So we have to break that down. In the end, it'll be who can ever has the most collection of truthful and logical and benevolent skills will always win in the end.
Here's what I'm going for. I hope one day I can enter like this guy makes an entrance right here.
How do you get to a point in life?
Yeah, Mongol. All tall people are fucking awesome, man.
Did you see that? Did it show it?
How do you get to a point in life where you can do this? Is that a pony or a full-size horse? What a great jacket. How do you get to this point? How long did he train to be able to do this? You know, this is a handy skill because society could collapse at any moment and suddenly these people are going to be very important again.
I love how Ozman always puts those little digs in his videos.
Just reminding me,
it could collapse at any time.
Yep.
Well, horseback riding was a major evolution in its time. It was like nuclear today. You could cover vast grounds aggressively, launch arrows at a distance with high precision. As a matter of fact, the Omega symbol is actually stirrups. It's called the stirrups of Horus.
Horus, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna get into the fucking heat of the stuff right now, because it is going off. You might need to learn how to fucking might see this in London right now. Do you know that if you talk about, they said in the Ministry of something in London, said they're going to extradite foreigners. Like if you don't live in fucking the UK and you report on them and make the UK government look bad, they're going to extradite you to the UK and fuck up your life over there for you. Hey? Oh, I can't wait. That just like flags Great Rebellion. You need to say something. They're telling you can't say something. You got to get in here, buddy. And this is kind of a summary.
Violence fueled by right-wing activists has escalated in the UK for the past week. The riots are some of the worst the country has seen in years, and the new government is struggling to quell the unrest. It all began when 3 children were killed in a stabbing attack by a 17-year-old in Southport. Soon after, rumors began circulating on social media that the suspect was an asylum seeker or a Muslim immigrant. In reality, the suspect was born in Wales. Hundreds of protesters, believed to be supporters of a far-right group, began attacking local mosques, and the riots soon spread to other towns and cities.
We've seen Muslim communities targeted, attacks on mosques, other minority communities singled out, Nazi salutes in the street. I won't shy away from calling it what it is: far-right thuggery.
Agitators are exploiting long-simmering tensions over immigration and the growing number of migrants who have entered the country illegally by crossing the English Channel.
The United Kingdom is collapsing right now. Nearly a decade ago, it was described as one of the best places to live, but that's no longer the case. Now there's anger and civil unrest in the streets. There have been strikes literally every day since the middle of December for every major industry in the country. Nurses, postal workers, firefighters, public transportation, you name it. Any occupation critical to keeping society running has been shutting down. Living standards are now lower than they were in the 1950s due to a higher cost of living and low wages. The divorce rate is skyrocketing to a whole new record. They've had 3 prime ministers in the last 12 months.
Fuck the pretenders of the crown. Let me tell you something, man. That place over there, it's all lit up. Well, who fomented that? Who managed that into that fucking creation of manifestation of who's responsible for making that? The representatives? Yeah. And now they're going to say, oh, it's all the people on the far right and all that. They don't like our. You know what? The crown's gone. The crown's gone. The coronation oath under God is gone. They don't fucking care about it. They besmirch it at every opportunity that they have. And they're doing it so that we consent. And then they get to do their shift. And the big Semitic drift takes place. And fucking what was used to be fucking morally fucking repugnant has become something entitled and beautiful and benevolent suddenly. Words. Spelling, it's fucking real. They shift your fucking reality with how you speak. And then you consent to that shit that you see there. I can't believe it. He talks about, they're slurting Nazis in the streets. You got a fucking Prince Harry who dressed up as one. And like the family fucking visits the during World War II are going over there to funerals, visiting weddings, marrying into it. Prince Philip. I mean, it's fucking hilarious how hypocritical they are about it. I don't think the Nazi party was a nice party or a group. But if they're going to turn around and say this against the people while their monarchy walks around dressing up and playing like it, we're applauding them in Parliament. And we were cursing that one that dressed up. That was a staged one on convoy, was walking around with the flag. They had to fucking get a guy to carry one flag out there and walk around so they get a couple quick pictures and then safely run them back, scream little rat straight into the fucking chateau so that they could say that was present.
Yeah, but if you
watch here now, giving the Sieg Heil to a fucking Galatian Nazi in the fucking gallery.
There's some serious Nazis out there on the right, and they're funded. And rational people are caught in the middle here. But they're there. This is Ohio. Watch this. Last week in Ohio. Look at where you're going. Because what's going to happen is you're going to get caught up in this group because it's well funded, right? Just like we were talking about the phone today about the CSIS involved with baiting, seeding money into these extreme organizations. But so they're well funded, and all of a sudden you don't like the gay pride stuff. And you're at an event, and all of a sudden you're caught up with these guys. Last week in Ohio. Watch this.
Let's go over some of these words.
Just hold on.
Vanity a sin? Is vanity a sin? Yes, it is. Pride. 6 spectrum instead of a 12 spectrum.
Yeah, but
spectrum. Now let me finish. What else were we going on there? We were fucking another word that we threw out there. There was pride and fuck. I'm all fired up tonight, boys. But it's the words that we use to define, and we fuck ourselves.
You're gonna conduct after capture until you're in a you're gonna get a group. I just spoke a shot, man.
Jesus. It's only going to get worse if we keep on letting it go on. Like I said to everyone else, like I was at one of the first Palestine rallies and I seen it. I said, if we keep on going like this and if we don't answer the questions or fucking answer anybody's questions and they keep on going on, it's only going to get worse. And as it goes on and as it goes on, we get the more people that are, I'll say, because it's got so bad at some places in Toronto and in Ottawa that like there's even the protesters are just like, well, this isn't what I started this for.
Have you not noticed that as they have these Palestine, Israel, Ukraine flag waving parades that they're having, they're stripping our identity away and they're dividing us into these ethno shades.
Right.
And so I was saying to Mr. Rebellion there the other night, I said, it would be really interesting to actually get to the leadership of some of these groups that are doing that, because CSIS is working in there. I'm pretty sure
100%.
Yeah. And they're the ones that are trying to create that, what I just defined. So when we say to them, listen, you would win over the public a whole lot more, because as a guy in the freedom movement, I think it's abhorrent that children are targeted in this. I think it's abhorrent that fucking innocent people are getting leveled to get at a couple of rats. You tell me Mossad in 72 could go around, find all those fucking terrorists one by one and cap them. They could fucking grab Gerald Bull in Belgium while he's bringing his bagels into his apartment, put a sub-22 in the back of his fucking dome. And they got to level an entire state to get these guys? Bullshit.
I know, right? Yeah.
That's what I said.
More bombs than all fucking World War II.
If it offends our Canadian values, we need to encourage them to fly the Canadian flag and make their statement under the Canadian flag, under Canadian values. They're taking us away from it. They came here for a reason. Everybody came here for a reason.
Right. Freedom.
Well, freedom is your association is the ability to associate. Okay, so when you associate with the state in a summary matter, like Tamara Lich is like, fuck it, it's true, that trial. And one of the scary things when Ezra Levant on the media talks about is $500,000, no regular person could ever withstand a summary. What they're telling the public is if you ever get in a mischief trial, you better find a way to fucking knit $500,000 to defend your ass, because they're not going to listen to you when you speak on your rights. You have a right to do it, but only if you stand in a certain capacity. And the only way the state's going to know that is by how you define. And your words will be used against you. So when you get before the judge and they misunderstood how you define, the judge would be, when the flag's there, obligated, bound to acknowledge the fact that, yeah, you have a right to do that, and we're not going to waste any of the public's time persecuting. It's not in the public's interest. But when the public's interest is purely around equity, and they can bend you over and hoop fucking ravage you for $500,000, you bet they're going to do it. You bet it, man. They're going to do it. So the flag, the representation of our Constitution, is exactly that's why they took it out in August. It was to facilitate the authority and overreach that they wanted to apply.
You think it's done in England the same? Do we have anybody in UK who can verify?
So I've seen some cases. We actually had one on the show, no flag. It was the woman that got jail time for her Facebook post, and we put it up on the show a couple shows ago. And I didn't mention it at the time, but I did note it when it was playing. Yeah, no flag in that court. Again, when you're on Zoom, how would you know? Mm-hmm. Look, this right here, this is my left hand, right? But it's on this side, opposite side, right? So if you're sitting, and then so whose perception matters? Yeah, that's one thing about Zoom court. The other thing about Zoom court is you've made your house the court. They just walk.
You open up the door to them to send agents right into your fucking house. It's like a warrant.
Yep. Yeah, it's an open one. They could be kicking around your backyard, opening the shed, looking about. We had reasonable cause to think that we smell pot. Fucking, whatever. Like back in the day.
Or anything.
Okay. Next video. Ready? Here we go.
The UK is now arresting people who post anything negative about their country online. Not only that, if you make any videos about them and you live in a different country, such as myself in the US, they are saying they are going to extradite you to the UK and put you in prison, which means I might go to jail for making this video. I don't care. Here's what's going on. There is literally tens of thousands of people all over the UK who are rioting, destroying houses, destroying cars, and even looting businesses. And the main reason this all started in the first place was for anti-immigration protests. But since their country started arresting people for talking badly about them online, even more protests have broken out for that. And it's probably important to know that over 600 people have been arrested because of this. And that's also why there actually hasn't been very much news coverage coming out about this, because people are so scared that they're going to be arrested if they talk about it. And as you can tell, these protests aren't exactly peaceful, as people are literally ruining houses and cars, and honestly, look at the amount of fires that are starting in just this video.
Violence and vitriol on the streets of the United Kingdom, targeting migrants and mosques in an ugly eruption of anti-immigrant sentiment. For more than a week, riots breaking out in city after city, cars torched in northeast England, fires raging in Belfast in Northern Ireland. This hotel, used to house asylum seekers, set ablaze.
A civil war is inevitable. It will happen. They're not asylum seekers. They've gone through 16 safe countries. They're safe in France. France isn't at war.
And how did you get here?
I get by boat.
By boat?
Yeah, from France.
Migrants are welcome here. Migrants, it's not their fault that they have to leave countries which are subject to war.
What do most people here in the United Kingdom think about all the migrants that are coming over?
I don't know, they're a load of racists around here. They're racist. Too racist, man.
The United Kingdom has recently erupted, and the kingdom is not united. In fact, it seems to be very divided at the moment. Riots have broken out across the country. The police have made arrests on men and women for speaking out, and the major underlying issue to all this is the current migrant crisis and the two-tier policing inside the United Kingdom.
Over there, that's Brazilian, favela. We've got Pizza Americano, which if you're from Barnsley, it's an absolute stronghold of after a night out, everybody's getting a pizza from there. Owned by people who are not from Barnsley, foreign people. Soul Lounge, not British, not Barnsley. Everything in this town has got some contribution from non-British, non-Barnsley people. Half our Barnsley team are not British, and we love it. The immigrants make our society better. They're what make us better as people and make us proud to be British. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of people making the small minorities in society the scapegoat for all the problems. Your problems are from classism. Your problems are from the top down, people making us feel small because we're working class. But I'm proud to be working class, and I'm proud to be anti-racist working class as well, and I will not have it in my town.
There's a old Christian rule, Gnostic Christian rule. Like when a traveler comes through, you're supposed to be hospitable to them.
Yeah, that's how I was raised.
So, but they because of the way that they make us break that covenant is through the political construct of different faith systems, and then the way that the media and the government choose to highlight elements in order to inflame a dialogue that creates this, so that we actually betray our covenants, and then we doubt ourselves, we doubt our faith, and everything's lost. And again, it goes down to faith. Recognize the supremacy of God and rule of law. In a summary matter, when you get a cop just grabs you for standing in there protesting and having an opinion, and you're not doing nothing other than standing there, knowing what to do, what to say, it's going to determine the capacity going on from there. All right. And when a lawyer tells you don't say nothing, it's for a reason. When a lawyer gets arrested, goes dead weight, his will is leaving his body. The agent of the state is going to do what the agent of the state is going to do, and nothing he says in that moment is going to reverse it, and he knows it. So he waits. When he gets before a judge and the crown, he makes his case known about the capacity to which he was there. And there's things that can be done when the flag's present. One, like, this is why I'm saying, like, we don't have to burn places down in that. We just got to learn how to speak and then stand in it. And the court will fucking crumble because it can't afford to persecute us. Or it's forced to do an overreach that completely exposes the tyranny, and then the mass public get offended, the ones that they were trying to hold back. So, will leaves the body, you get taken to a cell. Cell door closes. One time, I want a King James Version Bible. Now. Sit down. Don't say fuck all. Wait. You get in front of a justice of the peace. They didn't get that book to you and the type that you asked for, the King James Version. You say I was denied a process of law. And you were. And then if they don't listen to you on that and they try to give you a chat around on it, you can then show that there was a presumption of bias upon the officer when they detained you. You want to know what the police officer's notes say. How does it define you? Does it define you as a white male or a male? You're looking for the word male. And you're going to say, I'm not a male in this matter. I'm not a male in this matter at all. Because what is male? Male's a sperm-bearing animal, open for presumption. Okay, kid? All right? So you're brought open for presumption. Ver in Latin, which is their tongue, in that jurisdiction, ver is man. Ver, man, husband, hero, virtue, virus. Your words will be used against you. So, how you define? So you say, I'm not a male, I'm a ver in the matter. And then they know that you speak correctly. And you delay and hold. Conduct after capture is to resist lawfully and in grace as much as you can. But you got to be correct. And you got to demonstrate a mustering. You don't got to be 100%. You just have to show a mustering. Because when the flag's present, the judge is obligated to acknowledge that mustering. What is a crime? It's an offense to a moral code, a trespass, or a harm. What defines the morality of that code? Our Constitution. What was it written under? The King James Version Bible. That's it. Nothing more be known. Your words will be used against you, and they're applying with a J, a jurisdiction. I know. J wasn't invented until 1524. The third commandment, never use the Lord's name in vain. Oops. Jesus, Jacob, Job, Japheth, Jezebel, Jupiter, Emperor Justinian. None of those fucking names existed. None of them. Captain Hook did it in 1524. Gian Giorgio Trissino. And he built it off of the Vulgate. And he created that. John Dee perfected it. And then because Elizabeth I had no child, caked in fucking makeup, always wearing a choker, had no child. They had to scrounge around and search, and they found James I, and they threw him in there. His fucking name wasn't even James when he was born. Okay? And he carried the torch thereafter. First was the star, then I. Why then J? Right? Because J, the letter J replaced Y, which replaced I, which replaced the star. And if you look on your keyboard, everybody likes that creator loop 8. Look above it. What's the uppercase of that twisted egg?
Star.
First vowel L ever created, and no word exists without it. And the world was without definition and void. And your words will be used against you.
I agree.
Okay,
anything to add to there, Mr. Burns? Tim? Any relation to Mr. Burns on from The Simpsons? You know him?
Fuck, I wish I had his money.
No. Okay, just checking.
I think I worked where he's from.
And you never know. You never know. So this is how Australia has decided to handle the immigration problem.
So are you actually, do you have your papers?
Oh, I cut him off.
Your papers, your passport. Mate, are you actually, did you swim here illegally?
Yeah, I just swam from fucking New Zealand.
Which country from New Zealand, did you?
You're tripping.
You know, there are certainly many people trying to swim in here illegally. Did you paddle here from a boat?
Not paddling, I was just here by the shore.
Do you have a passport?
No, I mean, I was on the shore with my friend.
Well, where is proof of that? I'm sorry, and we have a strict immigration policy. You can't just come and swim into the shore and expect people to let you stay here. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I'm here on a business trip.
We will have to process you in a detention center.
I lived here 2 years.
I'm sorry, but you have just come swimming from the outer sea.
Sorry, this is my friend.
I'm sorry, please step aside. Where is your passport? Where is your passport? Please don't step any further.
Can I go to my...
You have just come swimming from a different country. This is illegal. We have a correct procedure in Australia. I'm very sorry, mate. You're going to have to swim back to your country. Which country did you come from? Which country did you come from?
France.
You come from... We're going to swim back to France then. Thank you. Please turn around and swim back to France. Please, thank you. You may continue. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you. Come again.
Yeah, are you a Pointlet Pro guy there, Tim?
Yeah, I've been Pointlet Pro for a long time.
We'll talk.
Yeah.
I got some interesting. I got a federal human rights complaint that took 5 years to get to investigation. It's now been launched and it's in process.
Do you know an officer? What's her name? Last name Douglas.
I left the NRT in 2012. I was on their composite adversary team.
2012, yeah.
I went into scaffolding after that.
Yeah, I'm a scaffolder.
Yeah. That's a fucking
It's a shit show down there.
Corrupt as fuck. Unions own 5%. Unions own 5% of the union of the company. And you cannot fucking give a duty of fairness when you're in a position of ownership. So when veterans come to them for accommodations, right? And they throw us under the bus, and I had enough, so I just said, fuck you.
Good for you though, bud. I've been down there for a couple of years now. I actually, when COVID struck, I was down there, and they brought up have to have the jabs by April, whatever. I believe it was April.
Yeah, Tim. Hey, you want to know what? Bruce Power staging itself before COVID for a medical isotope, right? Then they come in and they fucking set up the Hockey Hub jab clinics for COVID, put out all their YouTube clips about how fucking brave it is to slam a door in another person's face and stay home. Right. And and as they do all of that, they inoculate everybody. Cancer rates go through the fucking roof. They are now fucking entering a $33 billion fucking isotope market for cancer treatment. Fucking weird. Hey.
I just pray to God someday that we set precedents in the court with some, like the people, not a corporation or anything, holds them accountable, and then we get a precedent set in court that we can all go after. Because as far as I'm concerned, they all need to be held responsible. When I was let go, I worked my fucking ass off for fucking 15 fucking years for these fucking assholes, and fucking literally because I didn't follow your fucking protocol, I get kicked to the curb when I give away half of my fucking paycheck every goddamn week to you fucking pieces of shit. Like, and my paychecks were good down there. My paychecks were real good. So when you get half of them, you were getting a good little fucking chunk, you piece of shit. And then fucking it comes to the point where, oh, well, you're not following the rules. We're going to have to let you. Oh, it's that easy, is it? It's that fucking easy.
When I launched my complaint, went through internal code of conduct. They went external. So I think it was one of the longest ones that I've heard of anyway. It was like fucking 10 months and change, the whole internal, external investigation. They're cooking off the timeline for your human rights complaint while they're doing that to you, right? And your union's literally, stroking your eyebrows to the whole, knowing exactly what they're fucking doing to you.
They're kicking.
So I figured that out in advance, and so I jumped it, and I fucking and I started, and then when I got a retaliation charge put against me because I won't explain it all, but at the end of the day, I changed the way that I spoke to them, and they found it threatening. And they charged me because I went on site to get my long form birth certificate that they contracted with when I got out of the Army. Yeah, I'm the only guy in the fucking entire nuclear industry that's done that. I know that for a fact. That's what the ident guy who's now dead for me fucking told me. And they were pissed off about it. You can't contract with the live man. So I came on site, and because I was a cat guy, they said, "Oh, you broke in." I was like, "No, I didn't. I came right through the fucking front gate." They're like, "Oh," and so they tried to make a big deal of it. They wouldn't let me come in and see my file, and they handed me a forgery of my fucking short form. I'm like, "You guys, listen, Denying my file because I'm speaking to a firearms matter that you're putting on me is 27903. That's human rights or human trafficking by document. And here, you're handing me a forged fucking banknote. You see that? That's a fucking, that says fucking certified banknote on that, stupid. And you're starting at 14 years on that. And that's after I fucking plug your ass for the fucking fraud over 5,000, criminal neglect causing death. Fucking, you fuckers are just committing more crime to fucking carry on. And they wouldn't know, oh, that's all we got, Jay. That's all we got. I was like, oh, fuck you. That's all you got. Where's the CNSC office? Oh, JJ, we don't know. We don't know because they changed the office, right? And I'm like, what do you fucking mean you don't know? You guys are World SWAT Challenge fucking alumni, are you not? You know, best of the best. SMR and Mobile Patrol, we have a violent assault in the fucking CNSC office. Respond. You got 2 fucking minutes. You don't fucking know? You're lying. All of you are fucking lying. All you flying fucking monkeys, 2 guns. I'm here talking to you like this and you're shitting your fucking pants. Pussies.
Yeah, they don't like when you talk. I'll tell you one thing: down La Pro, they didn't like when you fucking talk back to them, fucking, or brought up fucking, brought up good fucking topics.
Let me continue. It gets better. I get on this fucking criminal trial for fucking pulling all this shit because your only defense at that point is to charge me first, so that if they have to fucking talk about it, they can't mitigate themselves on the stand. And that's a Weasley fucking sniveling fucking little. So now I got to get them on the fucking stand. I refuse to lawyer up. 3 years. They got to deal with me as I'm talking to you right now. I was mad every fucking day of it. They dragged me out of that courtroom by ERT into cells off the penitang fucking for saying I was the living man in court. I'm like, I can show up as a fucking flying fucking other birch ender fucking pony and you fucking have a bridal and Timothy Hay waiting for me. The walls would bleed fucking empathy. But because I come here as a Christian Science fucking living man under Merriam-Webster Dictionary Part 6, you fucking send me for a mental health review after fucking dragging me there with 8 armed ERT members. Dead weight. Seriously. So
that's fucked.
3 years. You want to talk about Tamara's trial, boy? I tell you, it's gonna be a good book. So then fucking after I get out of SAG and I go all through all this fucking shit, and I last December, that's March 2021, all the way up to fucking last December 6th, the day after my fucking conviction, because I haven't been sentenced yet. I get out and somebody that's following it comes up to me and says, that Judge Sherwood, do you know who his fucking son is? I said, no. He goes, it's Jordan Sherwood. So that's the director of civil maintenance at Bruce Power. Is it fucking really now? How long has he been at that fucking job? Well, since you got charged. Really? Yeah. So do you think, and he's retiring in October, the judge.
It seems like all these people are, like, anywhere you look in all these big matters, all of them are retiring soon.
Every single clerk, every single cop, every oath to my constitutional fucking rights. And I'm going to invoke something here. I'm a fucking veteran, a combat arms fucking I was in the infantry. I served in the PPCLI and the RCR here, 14 years. Okay?
Thank you.
I don't want to thank you, man. I just want my fucking. I just want somebody to acknowledge.
You deserve it, though. Fucking no matter what, if you want it or not. Fucking.
Everybody. Like I don't mean that. I'm. Veterans you'll find veterans. There's 2 types of veterans. There's a veteran that.
I was just about to say.
There's veterans that will fucking they'll put on a big show and hold their hand on their heart and fucking soak that right up. And then there's other veterans that just kind of want to say, yeah, you know what, man, listen, spare me that. I don't want deeds, not words. You fucking care. You thank me by walking into that fucking court and saying, where's the flag that guy put his fucking life up on unlimited liability for 14
Absolutely.
years to represent him. That's I don't want thanks for your service. The judge gives me thanks for my service. I fucking thanks for my fuck off. Speak, act.
Actions.
You don't need a gun. You don't need to fucking run down the fucking muzzle, but you don't need to stand in front of fucking drunk fucking guerrilla warriors and fucking sit there and try to negotiate shit with them. You just walk in and say, where's my fucking flag?
Yeah, I got one more topic for the show here. So Have you heard what happened with Telegram CEO? He's technically a billionaire. He got arrested in France recently. So what was happening was it's kind of like the new WikiLeaks. So a lot of the Ukraine, Russians, like soldiers, they have their own channels, and he has a system where you can exchange Bitcoin. So it's black market deals are getting done on there. It's the only free service left, and he talks about how they tried to buy the software, take over the software. The guy's Russian. Here,
some breaking news out of the tech world. So the CEO of the app Telegram was just arrested in France. If you're not familiar with Telegram, it's an end-to-end encrypted chat application. The idea is that you can talk to somebody else without Telegram being able to see or read your messages. And so it's used by a lot of important people like heads of states, ambassadors, people in war zones, journalists and their sources. And it has, I think, over 900 million users now. And because it's end-to-end encrypted and nobody else can read the messages in between, there's no moderation on the app at all. And the app also supports things like cryptocurrencies, so you can transact and send money to different people on the app. And due to the lack of moderation, countries like France had an arrest warrant out for him because they claimed that he allowed, or at least didn't disrupt, criminal activities from occurring on the app. And some of the reports are coming out saying that they might try him on things like terrorism and narcotics and money laundering and a lot of other different crimes, because all of that happened on the Telegram platform, which he created and he's the CEO of, and because he didn't enforce any of these moderation tools, that he might be responsible for those. And this might be familiar if you remember the Silk Road, which was an online marketplace for selling pharmaceuticals. And so when Ross Ulbricht, who is the founder of that, got arrested in 2013, he was also charged with a lot of these crimes, but he also committed a lot of crimes on his own. And this situation is really just one of many situations like it that all come down to the Section 230 ruling. And the Section 230 ruling protects platforms like Meta, like Google, potentially like Telegram, at least in the US, from being held liable about what its users publish on the platform. But he wasn't arrested in the US, and he was arrested in France and the EU, where they have a different...
Anyways, what are your thoughts? Any? Like, it's getting bad. It's getting scary. Nothing's private anymore, and everything you say is going to end up in front of a fucking courtroom real quick.
Well, it doesn't even matter. Like what I say about the Telegram, if it's on your phone, if someone fucking wants it, they're gonna get it. It's as simple as,
right? Project Pegasus is the ultimate backdoor that all the hackers know, CSIS knows, CIA knows, like every big computer nerd guy. Do you know that there's a website, my buddy gave it to me the other day, and you can hack into anybody's smart TV and watch their camera. Like,
right,
you can go by location and get their data. Like, it's
dude, I was driving down the Windsor Bridge with my neighbor day before they rolled it, doing a reconnaissance for a bunch of people that wanted to set up a medical stand. And on my way down there, we're having a conversation about the February 5th at Confederation Park, and it was like, this is now like February 11th. And I said, it's weird, you know, that some of these decisions were made that. And his cell phone just went, bleep, weird, it's just another person's normal. Bleep.
Oh, thank you.
And they've literally kind of like, I take a turn and like 2 Suburbans and 3 cruisers come out, and I'm dragged out of my fucking vehicle and I'm taken off to some police station. And that's happened like on a couple of occasions. So right. I'm not surprised that everything is so. Well, whenever I interact with people in the movement, I just say, listen, first of all, I don't lie. I tell the truth. It may be wrong. It may not be accurate, but it's how I feel, and it's in the right direction, I think. And if I'm off base, you know, feel free to let me know. And I reserve the right to back out at any time. And because I function as I do, I don't have to hold any secrets. There's no fucking secrets about me. There's no need to fucking feel I'm austere, I'm spooky. I can be. I know how to be. I know I'm smart enough to know that I shouldn't be. Because of what I'm doing is 100% right. And if I fucking bring extra heat on me, man, I turned my guns in 2019. And they're running around thinking I'm going to fucking go postal on people. The day that I was going to come out, I turned my guns in. And then I took myself to the hospital and said, I want to go for a review. And I want to go for a 72-hour review. And they wouldn't take me. And I was like, I had to have a little freak out. and the only reason that I did was so that I could sit before a psychiatrist who I knew would put pen to paper and tell him, I'm about to call out Canada's largest nuclear power plant, 30% of the province's power, and it's going to affect their operating license. May even return the whole corporation back to the public, as it should be, I think. And when I do this, the very first thing they're going to do is say I'm John Rambo on acid. Mm-hmm. All right. So I was profiled for the composite adversary team for a lot of reasons, but they picked, I've come to learn that they picked me for a few. One is because I have a low academic education. All right. I only got a grade 9 on paper, but I know other things. So I got a different kind of education from within the military and the system and all of that on different skill sets. And I was good at it enough to be a jack of all, master of none. I guess is the way to say.
Master of one. Right. Anyways, let's finish off on you, buddy. What can you tell us about the East Coast? Can you light a fire under their fucking ass for us, or what's going on, buddy? What's the plan?
The East Coast is quiet. It was happening here, and everybody's just kind of letting everything or feeling like everything's back to normal, and just blinders on.
Right in the bubble, back in the bubble.
Back in the bubble, I believe it's almost all a Canada. And honestly, my perspective of this whole thing is it's going to take something like we're watching in the UK or something serious, the government overreach again, that puts people and backs them into a corner, because we've created a society that's completely fucking lazy. Just literally people that don't want to do anything that you can't even control your own mind to fucking feed yourself proper food. You fill yourself full of fucking junk. You know what I mean? Like, how the fuck can you take on the world right now if you knew what was going on? We've literally conditioned these people to be that way. Well, society is conditioned, lazy, the easiest way out. I don't want to worry myself because it's not at my back door yet. So I believe that we need like something to push, like the lockdowns. The lockdowns created what the convoy was. That's it happened naturally because people were sick and fucking tired of being told what to do and realizing that this is not fucking right. Like, why is our government fucking
the parameters for us to push? Like, they're going to create and the people to push against, and it's not going to be our enemies. And that's what we have to be aware of, is where they want us to fight is where we don't fight. And we got to stay focused on that common enemy. And that's where I come into this, because I see it 100% that they have these well-funded psyops and to herd you into this corral, and you're not going to like yourself when you come out at the other end of that. So everybody's got to start thinking for themselves and acting for themselves. And they need to act, because pretty soon I think people from the other end of the world are going to come over here. And when they do, they're going to be really pissed off that we didn't take care of this ourselves.
Well, I wish we could get these other big groups like fucking the Muslims, the Sikhs, all the other, like, we're all out, whether it's your cause, Palestinian cause, any cause, we need to get together because it's one common enemy right here. It's the fucking government. The government is literally fucking went too far. So in all aspects, whether it be the fucking Palestinian shit, fucking they're not listening to them, fucking we're funneling fucking money constantly over to Ukraine, any of this shit.
As I've always said, human rights. We can always agree on human rights. That's where we ended up last time after the Great Wars. And do it again right now.
Of law.
Yeah, I agree. Thanks, gentlemen.
And in that, the courts, your constitution, your Canadian identity, which has all of those things that you're speaking to protected, are enshrined. and I'll quickly say, people can argue with me about whether that's the best solution, like in a long-term goal. I won't debate that. I use the analogy, we're in a minefield. And the last change that was made, the next bound that we got to walk back to get to a familiar ground, is to a position where we have standing in the courts to speak, where the judge is bound to acknowledge our mustering. We didn't shape our tongues; the system did. So again, you speak in title, and when you say these words, they're just waiting for you to say those words. So, and then they have a presumption of ignorance over you, and they can just take you. But when you know how to speak correctly and dance with them, that's why I love Cop Watch, Canada Cop Watch, plug out to them, Northern Transparency, plug out to them, the way that they verbally engage. They're even getting better at it. In the beginning, I was like, I used to cringe a bit, but they've evolved, and the police are dancing with them. They're leading the dance. They're leading the tango with these guys in a lot of cases, in a good way too, not in an aggressive, violent way. That's empowerment, right?
So we're making progress with where's our flag in the courtroom. We have pamphlets, a new video. I pulled the other one down because we're just going to get the wording right on it. Next Sunday, I'll probably have another show next Sunday. I have to kind of reschedule because of my work. Tim Burns, thank you for joining us today and kind of reporting on the East Coast and where you're at, buddy.
Anytime.
Yeah, man. Hey, let's add me up there and we'll talk side on other things.
Absolutely.
Right on.
The only way to deal with an unfree world is to become so absolutely free that your very existence is an act of rebellion.